Hi everyone, Makai the movie guy is here again. To be honest, when it comes to preschool shows, my reactions can be pretty varied. On an overall level though, preschool shows are usually okay at best, and absolutely abysmal at worst. Today, I'd like to talk about my top 5 worst and favorite preschool shows. Let's begin this. How the heck did PBS Kids fail this badly? How? I thought Daniel Tiger's Neighborhood was bad. At least that show tried to come up with relatable characters. I mean, they failed spectacularly, but at least they tried. Don Quixote's characters are not even close to relatable, likable, or even salvageable. They have little personality, no charm, and nothing interesting about them whatsoever. The voice acting of the characters are just awful. The character designs are, kind of terrifying. They're not good at all. The episode I watched was about Don Quixote and her friends getting a present, but oh no, she has to wait until the others come. Not only is this story way too simple, but the episode also just drags on forever. Don Quixote is a generic kids show that's boring, annoying, and just idiotic beyond all human thought. Let's talk about an actually good show now. Mega Builders is actually kinda good. I mean, it's not groundbreaking or anything. Groundbreaking shows will be saved for later, but this is still a quality show that's good for kids. It gives a colorful world for the kids to get immersed in. The stories are simple, but well executed. The characters give good messages about problem solving in the various situations they're in. To be honest, I don't have a lot to say. I like it. It's good for kids. That's all. This is one of the most brainless, overly sappy shows I've ever seen. The stories are just unbelievably brainlessly put together. The main characters are a snore. Tupi in particular is just incredibly annoying with his voice and attitude. Even the art style is hideous to look at. The colors are gross, and the movements of the characters are really unnatural. I can't believe this actually got a movie in 2023. You heard me right, this got a movie. I talked about this show a bunch before, so let's look at another show. I know, I've torn apart this show a lot in the past. Nowadays, though, it's actually not bad. There are a lot of episodes that are boring pieces of extreme mediocrity, but the episodes that are good are really great and charming. Some of the characters are actually really likable, and the animation, if a little creepy at times, is pretty good. Even the episodes that are mediocre or bad have good qualities. I'd actually recommend showing this to your kids if you have some. How can anyone not talk about this train wreck of a show? There are few worse influences in a preschool show than Caillou. This kid whines, complains, and his parents give him whatever the frick he wants. They would ignore that he does bad and bratty things. This is the worst way you could possibly do a preschool show. And Caillou's voice is not pleasant. Not very pleasant at all. This show is annoying, bland, and absolutely terrible for kids. I do not understand why this show is so hated. A lot of people just hate it. To me, though, I think it's really decent. Sure, the animation isn't the best, but the other qualities are actually pretty good. The characters aren't that boring, and the plots and execution are actually pretty entertaining. This was one of my favorite preschool shows as a kid, and I was not wrong. I don't recommend this show to adults, but for kids, it's a good option for them. Who designed this show? How was this show even allowed to air on TV? This show is horrendous in every way, shape, or form. First of all, this show's theme song is just awful. It's creepy, the lyrics are the worst, and it drags on for 1,000,000 hours. Then this show introduces us to these 4 weird jelly alien-like things that spin around, look extremely bright, and make unnaturally high-pitched noises. Watching these for a while just drives me insane. Overall, this show is just horrendous. Every demographic should avoid this show at all costs. Thomas and Friends is a surprisingly great show. The CGI series was pretty good, aside from seasons 22 to 24. Those are terrible. It was the earlier seasons though that made this show special. The stories were intriguing, they were well narrated, the music was very good, and the visuals were spectacular. This show was a massive part of my childhood, until a bunch of kids peer pressured me that Thomas and Friends was for babies, and that made me stop watching it regularly. That was horrible, but this show is still great today. It's not the best show ever, but it's great for not just kids, but adults too. Oh my freaking gosh. Peppa Pig is one of the worst animated shows I have ever seen in my life. Like, it's in the top 2. I don't know where to begin. At least the other shows on this list had more than one redeemable things about it. Peppa Pig has lifeless animation, boring characters, overly simple plots, terrible writing, horrid voice acting, and horrendous dialogue. The only good thing I can say about it is that it can teach some good things to kids, but a lot of the time, it teaches either nothing at all, or teaches bad things. To describe how dumb this show is, let's look at one clip. Just look at this.
Susie Sheep is not my best friend anymore. So you can be my best friend. But my best friend is Candy Cat. Oh. Meow.
Dude, just because they want to be best friends with you, doesn't mean you have to be best friends with them. I don't even have the energy right now. I have a new animated series to work on anyways, but yeah, it's no contest. Peppa Pig is the worst preschool show I've ever seen. You may have predicted this choice, but I love this show way too much to not put it at number 1. I can barely think of much bad about this show. There are just way too many aspects to love. The animation, the voice acting, the backgrounds, the characters, the stories, and especially the writing. Almost every character feels like they're real people, and they are well written as heck. And the emotional scenes. Just how to describe these? Bluey is one of, if not, the only show I've seen that genuinely made me cry at times. But yet, this is easily the best preschool show I've ever seen. In fact, it's not only the best preschool show, it's also the best piece of television I've ever seen. Well, that's it for the worst and best preschool shows. What do you think of these shows? Do you agree or disagree with my opinions? Let me know in the comments. Anyways, thanks for watching everyone. Please like and subscribe.